Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. And we have a special for you. It's a live fan film reaction. I'm here with not only our usual cohorts of Cousin Cheetah and Major Ray, but we have a special guest as well in the V-Man himself, Vance Major. How you doing, my friend?
Yo, finer than frog hair, brother.
Fantastic. Cheeto, how you doing?
I am here to spear this fan film.
And Major Rage.
Doing well, proud to be here, glad I'm feeling better. Sorry that I missed Thursday's review.
You missed a doozy, but we
I
understand.
I was so excited to talk about it, and and then I had a second wave of feeling like crap. I'm like, no.
It's
I
okay.
said no more times than Captain Shaw.
Sorry, Major Daddy.
It's been going
Well-
around, man. I was feeling like shit yesterday. So I don't know what the hell, dude.
Yep, yeah, one of those things is a bug. So, we're going to be watching a fan film called Captain Roth's Final Message. It's on the YouTube channel called Harry Harris. After we review this fan film, we're going to then interview some of the fan film makers and actors who are involved in this film. So, here it is. And without further ado,
Why don't you get rid of that banner at the top, really quick?
oh, that's a good idea. Let's get rid of that.
Ginger Greek,
Can you get rid of it?
Ginger Greek is playing the guy in the chair today.
Yeah, wonderful.
And I can't even do anything with anything today because I'm signed in under my account. So we got to all rely on Zam.
Yep, yeah, me. Well, I am Asian, and I'm the technical guy here. Don't worry about that, Anyway, let's rock and roll.
This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidences are products of the author.
Can you hear it? Is it too loud?
I can hear
No,
it.
that's good.
It's good, yeah? Okay. We can rebuild him.
We have the technology.
Nano. Tick tack tack tack.
It's Skynet, baby.
I'm getting more of a Cyberman vibe. Especially
Yeah.
coming out of the side of the
Is this part of the fan film? We are
Don't know.
bored.
FM Studios and Harris Film Productions. Oh my god, I'm getting goosebumps, baby. Based on Star Trek by Gene Roddenberry.
Ah, the forehead!
Inner Space presents Captain Roth. The final message.
Please leave your message after the tone.
Exiled, imprisoned, deleted. What's that thing?
This is Captain Roth. This may be my one and only chance of transmission to the outside. I have been wrongfully imprisoned.
No, you
But
haven't.
I've done nothing wrong.
No, you haven't. You've done plenty wrong.
This was an attempt.
Well, the verdict is still out. We haven't seen the fan film yet.
To delete me from the system and Starfleet. I am now left for dead on Mud's planet, which is run by the androids.
Damn androids.
Yeah, Mud, that Harry Mud.
Yes.
It's very, very weak. Commodore Boone
Oh no.
has freed Harry Mudd
Of course he did.
What a
from
bastard!
the android's custody in exchange for my own
Commodore Boomer.
imprisonment and silence.
Communication officer's log, Stardate 4762.14. I've recently made a startling discovery in the comms logs. I'm choosing not to disclose that information at this time. However, there's only one other person aboard this ship I can trust with this kind of information.
It's Picard.
Personal log.
Oh.
JT Stahl recording. Computer, what time is it? Give me the star date and insert
It's
it
Vader
into
time.
the personal log.
The time
Who
is
just
0100
records a
hours
log
on
with a
Thursday,
phaser sitting
February
on their
14,
lap?
2267. The star date is 4762.29.
Okay. Continue recording.
Did you
Today
not know what
marks
day it was?
the 4th month that I've been on board USS Columbia as security chief. But
That's
the
why he has a gun.
circumstances
Ah.
are very
He's
strange.
he's American.
After Captain Roth disappeared, everyone he knows, whether they were close friends and associates or just acquaintances, were transferred from whatever command they were at. Everyone on board USS Crytek was also reassigned for no good explanation. This
Shut it,
order
red shirt.
was given by none other than Commodore Boone.
Goddamn Boone.
Nobody
goddamn
knows where
Boone.
Captain Roth is. Not even Starfleet intelligence. How do you say goodbye to your best friend? I'm hoping, maybe, by officiating the services tomorrow on board this ship, that I can bring some comfort and closure to at least the crew
He
of
looks like a
USS
priest, but he's got
Columbia.
that Jewish thing in the background.
What's that?
Commander Stahl, you have a Priority 1 encrypted message from Lieutenant Griffin. It is marked top secret for your eyes only.
Okay, put it through.
Commander, I've just discovered a deleted log file from our comms logs. You're definitely going to want to check this out.
I just got back from my run.
Launch this in a secure and private location.
Sweaty shirt.
Definitely let me know how you want to proceed. Lieutenant Griffin out.
You didn't hear it from me.
Okay, passcode, decrypt.
This is Captain Roth. I have been wrongfully imprisoned. Commodore Boone
He reminds me of Bill Pullman.
has
Or not
freed
Bill
Harry
Pullman.
Mudd
Paxton?
from the android's custody
Paxton.
What?
Yeah, Bill
One
Paxton.
from Twister,
in exchange
or
for
the
Yeah.
my
one
own
from- Okay.
imprisonment and silence.
I'll
This is
fix
our
his little
mistake.
red wagon. It's
What the
good to
fuck?
have close friends in low places at a time like this. I know just who to call.
Ghostbusters!
Computer, open hailing frequencies.
Call Science Officer Egon. Captain Venkman. Comm Officer Zetamore.
Who is calling me?
Dylan, it's Commander Stahl.
Who is calling me this late?
Dylan, this is Commander Stahl, USS
What the-
Columbia.
Is he invisible?
Security officer. Remember?
Oh, there he is.
Get off my lawn.
What?
This is Commander Stahl. I have some. Yes.
Man, they're
I
using
need you
AC
to listen.
units.
There's an encrypted attachment.
Who's calling?
This is Commander Stahl.
They're using vintage
USS Columbia, security officer.
AC units
What?
in the 21st century.
Tried to completely
22nd
delete
century.
this
Where?
from the system. If we're caught even talking to each other, Boone will make us disappear too.
Send me the data packet.
Yes. Okay. Here you go.
Transmission complete.
If you need anything else, let me know. Commander Stahl out.
I've been missing for approximately 4 months now.
Why is he always laying down? Is he
It wasn't long
paralyzed?
after
Like,
my
what?
message to Commodore Boone
I
about
give
the
him
Vulcan
credit. Look at that
ambassador
ground, man. I mean, that's some
that
serious
I went
acting.
missing.
Lie your face on that shit.
This was a personal attack against me.
We're all
I
gonna
knew
die,
things
man.
that Boone never
Game
wanted me
over,
to know,
man.
and I had to be silenced. He couldn't afford for the truth against him to be leaked. Boone and his crew had tracked down the location of the USS Crytek and intercepted my ship. I thought it was just going to be another friendly meetup, and instead I was captured. Boone and his men had assaulted me and my crew.
That fucking Boone.
My
Man.
ship was completely blindsided by his attack.
Villain.
Oh yeah.
I am now a prisoner on Mud's planet. This planet is run by androids. Approximately 200,000 of them.
200,000 androids.
Who are very strong. You cannot fight them. So far, I've barely stayed alive. I don't know how much longer I will continue to survive in these conditions. On this planet, in their custody.
The androids, they won't have food.
This is my final message.
Roll credits.
Boone, if by chance you receive this, consider this a warning. I will stop at nothing to bring you and your men to justice.
You're laying on the ground.
Captain Roth. Now,
We're coming for you, Roth. Hang tight. We're coming.
Is this?
Get my ship ready. Now.
Oh wow. This squadrons too.
Turn down for what?
Cavalry's on its way.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
What?
The model work, man. Oh yeah.
Set base direct MP mode. I want every android on that rock deactivated.
Here we come. Here we come. Here we come again.
It's just after credit scene, boys. Landed pretty good for an album, so very well communicate much in the chat earlier because we had to focus on the film.
Can hear you on this.
Yeah, okay. Well, there might be an after credit scene though. Yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
Yes, please like, comment, and subscribe to NerdTube.
And also to Harry Harris, who made whose YouTube channel this is, which I'm just going to quickly post in the chat right now as well. So give these guys a subscribe. That's their YouTube channel. Check it out. Hopefully you guys will like it. So let's remove this. That was Captain Roth's final message. Ooh la la. What an epic 10 minutes we just had, fellas. You know, absolutely remarkable. World-class acting, great performances, sets galore, amazing model works that would put George Lucas to shame. Absolutely fantastic, don't you agree? I'll start off with you, Cousin Cheeto.
Oh, all right. I mean, it was a good first attempt. It was. I mean, is this the first of their fan films, or is this?
Apparently, it's a prequel to that Sorry which I was sorry to watch. That was Commodore Boone's fucking movie.
Ah,
You know what I mean?
goddamn
Sorry, I
Boone.
wasted like 10 minutes of my fucking life watching that shit. But nevertheless, this is a spin-off or a prequel to that, I believe. Yeah, it's very hard sometimes to put all of this shit together, to tell you the truth. But yeah, I think it's something like. But look, yeah, just to add something before, I know I already asked you, but the fact that they were giving Boone so much shit in this fucking, like, it's all Boone's fault. That really worked for me because yeah, fuck you, Commodore Boone. It was your fault, and I'm so glad that they're fucking giving you so much fucking shit for it. Very much that for me, I found very appealing. Anyway, sorry, cousin Cheeto, keep going.
I mean, they definitely have the score, set and ready to go for an epic adventure. All I want to see is a bunch of androids now getting wasted in the next episode. And they all have to look like Boone. They all got to be, they got to be 200,000 Commodore Boone bots. So I mean,
God Almighty,
it's a reaction.
Starfleet forces would kill themselves.
It's a reaction to Sorry. What?
Yeah, it's a reaction to Sorry, the movie Boone made. You know, when he apparently insulted some Vulcan.
The Vulcan equivalent of the N-word, I guess, and he got canceled. That was the vibe I got from it.
Yeah, I mean, they should have named that instead of Sorry. They should have named it Canceled.
Vance, you got anything to say? Sorry, you got any more to add, Cheeto, or shall I pass it on?
I'm good.
Vance, you seem bursting at the seams here.
What the fuck are you guys thinking? I mean, first off, you have the film of the title of your film is Captain Roth's Final Message. At the end of the film, you guys going to rescuing him. So it's either his final message or it's not. You're either rescuing him or you're not. So to say it's his final message is okay. It's his last stand. To me, it's like you guys don't know what the hell you guys are doing. And then pacing is important in a film. This film didn't have any pacing. Like, you guys are doing a recorded message which seemed to take forever, and then it popped back up, and then it popped back up. To me, if you're going to do something like that, you want to do it in short bursts, which the only time it really felt like it did work was when it was with Steve Harris in that short little segment when he's doing his little log entry thing, and then it pops up there. To me, I felt like that was the only time that it really worked. But to do the thing at the very beginning, I don't even know who the fuck Captain Roth is, but I gave no shits about this guy. Because I'm like, who the fuck is that guy? And I didn't care. Because it's when you tell a story about somebody who you don't know and don't care about, you spend so much time with them. I don't care if he lives or dies. So I feel like, for me personally, I feel like the film needed, have some times, do like, if you're doing a prelude or you're doing some, story, have like maybe a 2 years earlier scene with establishing a connection between Steve's character and the Captain Roth's character, so we know why it means something for later on in the film when he gets that message. So he's like, holy shit, my friend is captured. Because we really don't know any connection between these characters. It's kind of like in season 3 of Picard, when Riker comes and talks to Picard, like, we have all that backstory. For this, we don't know why they care about each other or why they care, or for a more connected purpose, have Dylan have a scene with Roth, or communication, have establishment there for a reason why this guy gets fucking nuts crazy and goes to rescue him, takes his badass fucking ship and lands on whatever and deactivates all those androids. Like, have us connect with these characters, because at no fucking point did I connect with anybody here. The only time I connected with anything was when the film fucking ended. And I was like, wow, I connect with my NerdTube friends because we're all waiting to fucking talk about this piece of shit film. Because that's what it fucking was. Because people in this film I established, which was Dylan and Boone. And I'm ashamed that anybody is connected with this film and anything that's been connected with the Boone stuff. Because all they've done is just give no effort, I feel. Because the thing is, when you write a film, and I feel like this film needed a script polisher. I feel like everything established with these films has needed a script polisher, somebody to look at it and go, hey, this doesn't work. Because when you write a film, you say, hey, I'm going to go make a sandwich. You don't say, I'm going to go to the kitchen to make a sandwich. Nobody talks like that. But this guy says in a log, which is with his last breath, supposedly, on the, I'm here on this planet. No fucking shit, you're on the planet. You're laying down on the ground. Who talks like that? So again, all of you guys need to slow the fuck down on what you're putting out content-wise. You guys need to seriously stop buying props, stop wearing your hats. Like, there's a time and place. If you're going to wear a hat, go put on a black t-shirt. Be in casual wear. When you're in a Starfleet uniform, be in Starfleet. Again, time and place. Be in Starfleet uniform, and then maybe a little later, switch clothes, put on your baseball hat. Time and place, but stop bridging those gaps that don't work because you come off looking foolish. So stop, slow down, maybe bring in a couple people that know what the fuck they're doing, and then have a decent product or more decent product. Budget doesn't matter. Skill does. And you come off looking foolish. So, my thoughts.
Okay. Wow. Wow, indeed. Major Rage. Are you able to top that or not?
No. How does anybody follow that? I guess I didn't feel as strongly about it, but also I share some of the complaints that V-Man had, but investment into the characters isn't there, so it's hard to care about the story that's being presented. I think that maybe if there was more showing and less telling of things, like Vance said, maybe a scene establishing the relationship between the two characters, stuff like that. But I've got to respect the time and effort that went into it. I don't put myself out there like that. I come on and give my opinions about other people's work, but not the best work I've seen, I would say.
I thought you were all talking about one of the new series for a sec, but you're tearing apart this tiny fan film. It just opinion. I mean, look, personally, I personally was rooting for you guys after interacting with you three, Chris, Jeff, and Steve, and all of that, saying that you got nothing. This is nothing to do with Boone production as well, because honestly, that was one of the worst fan films we've ever seen. I was genuinely rooting for you guys. So maybe I have a little bit of bias towards this because I was hoping it would be good, and I didn't think so. I think some of the performances wasn't too bad, personally. But after hearing what Vance has had to say, I do get it. I genuinely do get it.
Here's the thing. I've torn apart my own fan film, so don't think that I'm sitting here thinking that my shit don't stink. I've ripped apart my own stuff with you guys, sitting here going, yeah, here's where my shit sucks, and here's where I don't think my stuff works, and I've left up and reasons why. Like, I completely understand where some people can go, oh, he thinks he's better than everyone else. I don't. I can sit there and rip apart my stuff with the best of them. So, I mean, and if anyone thinks that, oh man, I'm personally attacking them, it's not. This is not personal. This is looking at a film and going, look, this is purely looking at the film and going, this is where I think you guys need to course correct. This is where I don't think the film works. And if you guys want to get better, look, I have 150 some films under my belt. And the only way I got better was to sit back and look at it critically and go, okay, this is where I fucked up. This is where I made mistakes. And this is where I got better. So, I mean, you guys can either listen to stuff critically and go, yep, I can course correct, or you guys can look at it and go, no, this is as good as it gets. So you can make excuses, or you guys can get better. So take it or leave it. So it's up to you.
Well, I've sent the Melon link to Jeff, Steve, and Chris. So hopefully you guys can hit that link and join us for an interview now and give your explanations regarding the movie, as well as take some of our questions on board. But before we speak to them, I think it's time we mark on it. I'll be honest with you, Vance. I'm absolutely blown away by your commentary. It was I almost thought that me and you had swapped bodies for a second. Genuinely, genuinely did. So so to start off with you, Vance, what would you like to give this out of 10?
Despite my personal thoughts on the film, given the fact that they are new filmmakers, what's the rating scale? 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Vance DeBoon. Oh, sorry.
I would have to say a 5. I'd say average. Because I mean, here's the thing. I'm looking at it from the lens of experience. They are new. So I would say average. Now, if this was their 3rd or 4th film, you're going to go lower on the scale. So where, if we're having the same discussion in 3 or 4 films, it's going to go lower. So I'd say 5. So where they go next is on them.
I'll be honest with you, after what you said earlier, to give it a 5 was a lot higher mark from you than I anticipated. But it's fair, at least you're being fair.
I'm trying.
Sorry. No, go on. You got anything to add?
No, I'm trying to be like, again, it's not personal. It's looking at it from that lens of this is where you need improvement. And I mean, I'm trying to be fair. So I'd say 5. Again, they are the ones that moved the mark. So.
Okay. Well, I've got these boys backstage. We'll add them. We're going to add you guys into the chat in a second. But first of all, Major Rage, what would you like to give this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a 7. I've definitely seen way worse fan films. Watching stuff and reacting with you guys, there definitely were parts that didn't work, and pacing, and maybe follow some of the show don't tell. Logic of storytelling, but I wasn't just waiting for it to be over like some of the things I've had to watch. So I'm going to go with a 7.
Cheeto.
I'm probably going to give it a 6, based on the fan film scale of, they are new. I was not 100% sure if this was their first fan film, if it was a early fan film. I mean, definitely room for improvement, but it is their first film. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to say we have seen much worse first ever fan films. And we have seen better first ever fan films. So, I mean, 6, I think, is very fair and reasonable.
Before we get to my rating, there's a nice little comment here for you, Vance.
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Overaggression without substance and the lack of help. I'm going to give my review 2 out of 10.
And that's your choice, man.
Hey, Dippy, honestly, I do believe he had tons of substance, and
he had tons, man.
Yeah, tons of substance in there.
There was advice there too, helpful criticism, not just there was some constructive criticism there.
So
yeah, I think you kind of fucking tuned out, Dippy.
Yeah, he earned a 2.5.
Who he is? Like Dip TT, this is like the Star Trek fan filmmaker we got right here. This. Oops, sorry, apologize.
Oh, it's time for Zam to take his meds.
This person here, V-Man. What we're doing right now is pretty much the Star Trek fan film version of The Apprentice. Because we've got here, I don't want to call him Donald Trump because that'll be an insult. but you know, it's
But
still never exactly. Or Alan Sugar, because he's our version in the UK who does his own version of The Apprentice. But the point is,
Simon
you know, like
Cowell.
this guy, no, Alan Sugar, not fuck Simon Cowell, but V-Man knows his shit. You know, he's got hundreds of fan films. He's collaborated with all different types of people. Yeah, if anybody knows fan films, it's definitely him. I am going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. Now, personally, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Yeah, and I don't know what they were talking about and all of this shit. But I did like the fact that Boone was getting ripped on a lot, and I really appreciated that for some reason. That really worked for me. So keep ripping on Commodore Boone because he
Commodore
sold you
Boone.
motherfuckers. Because
Tremendous mentions.
him selling you guys out, that definitely worked for me. And I did like the model work as well. But I do agree with Vance. Like, if you're gonna wear a Star Trek uniform, don't wear a backward baseball cap. You know, I get it. I'm totally with that. But honestly, I just wish I knew what the fuck was going on and what the fuck you guys were talking about. It just none of it made sense to me, which is fair enough. But overall, I thought you guys tried and all of that. Yeah. So yeah, 7 out of 10 from me. You know, talking. Maybe it's a bit of bias on my part as well because I am collaborating with. I've communicated with you guys and all of that. So maybe that's seeping into me a little bit because I'm trying to keep things sweet, you know. But nevertheless, this is my mark. All right, so that's part of the uniform, a backward baseball cap. All right, fair enough. Okay, so let's bring these boys in. So first of all, we have Chris who joined this in our review of what was it Picard.
Yeah, Picard.
Yeah, welcome, Chris. And
Hey,
then we
good to be
have
back.
Steve Harry himself. And Fecto, welcome, fellas. Welcome all. Nice to have you. It's nice. Thank you very much for joining us and listening to our comments and our opinions on your film. Let's start with you, Chris. Anything you would like to say to us regarding what we've said about you?
I don't think you said anything about me in particular. But as far as the film goes, I got into it a little bit late. I filled in some parts. It seemed like they were in the middle of putting everything together. I think this was more or less a dry run just to see how everybody worked together. That's kind of the thing I enjoyed about it, was just getting in, working with people and trying to understand who's good at what, working parts out, the different angles that everybody's doing. But I like everybody's enthusiasm about it. That is really what drew me into it, was everybody just is having a good time. And that's really what made me want to be a part of it. So I'm hoping it's going to continue to show in like each film that we progress through.
Yeah, I just want to add that, you know, one of the things I will give you guys credit for is the fact that you weren't together, and sometimes, you know, to make a fan film where you're not together can be reasonably difficult. So you have to then do things where you like you're doing communication through comms and stuff like that, and you kind of made that work, I guess. So, Steve, anything you would like to add to us?
No, I appreciate the
Frozen?
time. Like Chris said, we, I'm sorry that some of y'all were disappointed in us. I've been a filmmaker for many years. I retired from the Navy. One of the jobs that I did was filmmaking there. But obviously, most of those were documentaries, not story films. The last real story films I did was was movies of my family that I made into comedy type things. So I came out of retirement and got together with Jeff here and Chris, and you probably know Matt Arnold, and we decided that we were just going to go forward and try it out. So I think for a first effort, we did a 10, but if you're going to rate us against other fan films, I'll accept all your ratings from your own experience, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Fecto, Jeff Barnes himself, the person who initially spoke to me to get this ball rolling, so to speak, who asked us to review it. Now, I did say to you, mate, that we were going to be as honest as humanly possible. Were we a little bit too honest?
No, honesty is great. So it's good to see y'all guys.
Yeah.
Mage, Sam, Cheeto, V-Man, what's up? Happy to be here. So yeah, so basically what I was telling Zam was like, we need a baseline on what's up with the films here. This is the first film. This is I guess so to say, I'm not huge into Star Trek. Maybe that's a fatal flaw on my end. So this is definitely our first dip in the water with film. So the whole goal with this entire film is create a ton of mystery and not reveal everything all at once for following sequels to really blast into the genre of what we're doing. And a lot of our stuff's a little bit unorthodox, as you've probably seen in the film. So basically, a little bit of lack of character development and everything was almost kind of the goal for this film, to really lead in strong with the next couple films to really blow open the gates on all the character development. So yeah, this is our very first film. We had a lot of fun doing it. We put it together in a little faster than I thought we would for the timeline we had in mind. So yeah, we had a lot of fun though. So
how long did it take you? Sorry, go on, V man.
Jeff, you say that you're not a fan of Star Trek. I say I know that I'm probably going to get burned by a lot of Trekkies out there. I don't think that's a negative thing at all. I would say, as long as you're telling stories about, characters, strong character development, that's a plus. I mean, and to me, I've always felt that as long as you're telling stories about good characters, character development, as just wrap it in the Star Trek universe, that's all that really matters. Because if you look at any good, whether it's classic Trek or DS9 or Next Gen, all of those stories are just about characters. You could take the setting and change it, whether it's, a hospital drama or army drama or whatever. The story doesn't matter. It's the setting doesn't matter. It's just the story. Like take the the story of Picard and Darmok. Or Dathon, the episode Darmok, when they're on the planet. It's just a story of Picard and the other guy on a planet where it's survival. Well, that's a classic story. The setting, it doesn't matter. So I don't think that you not being a Trek fan, I don't think that's a negative at all. So, I think it's, as long as you're doing good story development of characters, that's not a negative at all, man. So.
Right. I mean, I've seen one Star Trek film as a kid with Senior a long time ago in theaters, and that's about as deep as I go into the Star Trek world. It's not so much I'm not a fan. I'm intrigued by it. I'm not in it at a godlike level like a lot of you guys are, so to say. I do enjoy it. I do like the fan films. It's fun. Get to meet a lot of really cool people. We met some super cool people during the production of this film. So yeah, it's just been fun.
So I just want to piggyback off of what V-Man said, is that yes, and actually I completely agree with V-Man, is that sometimes taking people that are outside of Trek and putting them into a position of Trek is a good thing. However, make sure, and it doesn't sound like you have this, but I'm just saying, make sure that you respect everything that, that is in Trek, because you can burn fans pretty fast by doing something that's kind of crazy. Case in point, Discovery Season 1. So,
yeah,
but I do agree. I mean, and I agree with V-Man, is that, yeah, that you don't have to be like this Trek enthusiast. So probably, honestly, sometimes the huge Trek enthusiast is a detriment sometimes to the creative process when it comes to Star Trek. So
it takes away some of the objectivity.
Yes, very much so.
I just want to say,
I guess you could.
Let me just say one thing real quick. That's one reason that I like Jeff's participation so much, is that he gives us a fresh perspective. I'm the Trek freak, okay? Chris is a Trekkie too, but I'm the Trek freak from TOS. TOS, the animated series, and what would have been Phase 2, those are my go-to Star Treks, okay? The Star Trek movies that have the original series people in them. Anytime the original series show up in Next Gen, that's my go-to Star Trek. That's what I'm an expert in. And I pulled in other people in the genre that know these things too. Gregory M. Chin, for example, who used to be a Disney animator, had nothing to do with Star Trek except he loves it. And he's one of my main advisors, especially on engineering and some of the storylines and stuff like that. I've got the Star Trek Concordance. I go through star dates, compare, did this happen when I think it did, or did it really happen like 2 months apart, and that kind of a thing. And you'd be surprised. I'm just gonna let you do your own research. But you look at the Mud, and then you look at when Mud's Women happened, and when the animated episode happens in their star date order, and you might be surprised when that actually occurred in the TOS universe in that era. So that's the line that we're in right now. And Jeff and Chris have been invaluable. Of course, Matt's support, it came out of nowhere. Matt just showed up and says, I'm here, I want to work. And Matt Arnold, so he's in a Radio Shack or whatever. We don't know if he's on a planet. We don't know if he's on a ship somewhere with a fake background or what's going on with Matt. But that's part of the whole story, is we're doing it a different way. We're showing action and letting you get to know the characters through the film instead of, hi, I'm Steve. You know, I really like Star Trek. And wow, I even have a Star Trek mug. Now you know me. No, that's not the way to go about it. There are different formulas for filmmaking. And I've gone to film school, not to a college for film school, but I learned film in high school in the 1970s.
Steve, just
so
before you do,
is a little different than what is established for you guys.
Steve, I have to interrupt you. You're monologuing just a little bit too much here, mate. Yeah. I just want to add, like, regarding this fan film you're making, if it's just the first part of a series, you got this one dude saying, yeah, I'm going to come and rescue you, Captain Roth. And so those two people going to end up sharing a screen together? You know, like, are certain characters going to end up being on screen together, or is it all going to be done individually on your own cameras? I mean, have you planned that ahead or what?
Well, one of the obstacles that we do have is that we are separated by a lot of distance. I'm in Alabama, of all places. Chris is in Florida, and Jeff is out near St. Louis. So a lot of the stuff we have to do is going to be green screen. We're working out possibly getting together in person in the near future, but that's not something that's going to be a regular basis. It might be a once-a-year thing. So we've got to have all of our ducks in a row, all of our scripts ready, and decide what's the most important things for all of us to be in the one scenes together. You know, those scenes that we can film together, are those really what you want filmed or not? Otherwise, we can do a lot of this stuff on green screen in our own areas. Does that answer your question?
That's not bad. Yeah, go on. Cheetah?
So let's take a step back here for a second, back to before, because I mean, I am not the TOS enthusiast. I respect TOS for what it was. I expect TOS for starting it. I expect TOS for it being Roddenberry's original vision. But with there being so much Trek out there, you can't say that like that is like the be all end all of Trek. You know, like the TOS, the animated series, what was it? I didn't hear what the third one.
The movies, I think.
Phase 2 was going to be a series.
Phase 2.
It became the movie.
Okay, and it became the movie. So, I am a huge enthusiast of Deep Space Nine and of newer Trek. Once it got good, I get it. Discovery season 1 was terrible, you know, but I mean they're starting to hit some home runs. I respect the TOS era, but I'm sorry, like the TOS era like was great sci-fi fantasy, but it wasn't that great of sci-fi. You know, if you know what I mean. Like a lot of the stuff in TOS just doesn't. 100%.
Seriously, have you really even looked at Star Trek, the original series? Have you noticed who the writers were in the original series? Larry Niven, David Gerald, Spinrad, and come on, guy, really?
Oh, yes.
These are classic
very really, because
writers.
At the very end of TOS, when they sit there and they say, "Oh, she would make a great captain one day if she weren't a woman," you know, that's great for Star Trek.
That's bad because that was the very last episode.
Very last
episode. It was already dead. Exactly,
So
and it was a
because it
bad
was already
thing to do.
dead, because it was already dead, it justified it. No, I'm just saying, like, look, you can't sit here and say that TOS is the be all end all. I'm sorry, like, it's not. Like, it's
That's not exactly what I said. I said it's
Yeah,
my
I don't think
go-to.
he was saying that.
It's okay. It's my chicken soup. You know, when I'm I got the flu. It's my chicken soup. That kind of a thing. So I'm more of an expert in that because I grew up with that. Okay. You grew up with a different era, and I respect that.
One thing,
I like Deep Space Nine too. I just do not like Discovery season 1 and 2.
One thing you guys could consider, and this is something that helped with me. How many of you guys have the green screen? Do you guys know how to light it efficiently to make sure that you guys are on the screen at the same time? Because that was something
We're working on that now.
Okay. Because I have a video on my YouTube channel to show how to light a green screen properly. And that was something that was a conversation I had with Jim's Landscape, you know, Commodore Boone, for those of you that don't know. And because we're trying to put him in, we have a segment for one of the Crossroads films to have 3 admirals on the screen at the same time. He's going to be one of them. But he wanted to use the Zoom call thing that you guys do. And I told him point blank, I said, look, the Zoom call thing isn't going to fucking work. You need to use the green screen and you need to light it
Everybody
properly.
does that at work, and they don't want to watch it for fun, I'm assuming.
Yeah. You know, because it has the little zag angles on the shoulders, around the head. You know, and I told him, I said, you need to light the green screen properly. Because honestly, I think if you guys do that, it would save you guys a lot of, you guys could do that stuff from home. You guys would be able to shoot on screen together, you know, from home. Because I do that all the time with my fan films.
Yes.
You know, it's not 100% perfect, but you know, it makes filming a lot more fun. You guys could write dialogue with, you know, you and Captain Roth or Dylan and Captain Roth, you know, and it's, you know, a cheap green screen's like what, $20-$30. It's something that's easily affordable. Something else you may want to consider, and I also do this for my films.
Yeah,
and it's
I have green screens.
easy to do.
We all have green screens.
Something else that I do that's also easy and fun, and this will open up immensely your filming range, is just go find a park that has woods and shoot, you know, from one angle, you know, one of you guys, and then have somebody else shoot from their angle, them. And then you guys have away missions, you know, and then splice the footage to have the editor splice the footage together. Therefore, you guys can be on away missions or landing parties, you know, and that's the thing that, you know, a lot of people never really think about. Even though you guys are shot at 2 different locations, if you guys do it cleverly, you know, and if the lighting is off, you know, put a filter on it, you know, a slight filter that makes the you know, just some filter for the editor, you know, he can make it blend nicely.
Sure.
But those are things that you guys can do to get out of the, you know, kind of calm box, you know, films that most fan films are known for. And hell, I've done those. I'm known for those. But those are the things that you guys can do to make, you know, to just open up this type of filmmaking, you know, not to tell you guys what to do. Because again, everybody's entitled to make their films how they want to make them, you know. But those are some things to think about as you guys go forward in filmmaking. And that's also for Dippity T or Dippy T, whatever your name was.
That's
constructive
actually
criticism.
So yeah,
yes,
as
and
the
constructive
editor,
criticism is exactly what everybody needs.
Yeah.
As the editor, no, I totally get Advance. I totally get all the lighting and stuff. I took a few years of photography in college, and I still do that freelancing on the sides. I totally get lighting. That is the bread and butter of anything, is good lighting, proper exposure, and then correct as little as possible in post. You're supposed to make it look good in post, not be correcting a ton in post if possible. So that really is the key. The thing is, I'm not a cinema photographer. I'm not a cinematographer. Man, here I am getting this. I don't.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't shoot films. I take still pictures. That's what I'm good at. So the whole film thing and getting proper angles and this and that for certain scenes. I mean, it really is a whole different. It's a whole different animal to tackle. So I like the challenge of it. But I do know there's man, I'm so green when it comes to everything involved in all that stuff.
There's a lot of people and that's the thing. Like I have editors. Like all you guys have to do is ask. Like I'm more than happy to be like to send them your guys' way, and gladly help out if you guys need it. To be like, hey, can you recommend, or do you have somebody that can recommend? Just to kind of point us in the right direction. Because again, my job is never to do it for you. It's to help you guys out and be like, hey, here, steer you in the right path, to just kind of guide you guys. Because I mean, nothing is better than to see you guys succeed. But I mean, there's a lot of things out there, little tricks that out of 100 and some odd films that I've learned, hell, just shooting in my backyard. And I failed a lot just to succeed a little, but I mean, yeah, there's a lot out there to do. And especially if you guys are trying to build up character slowly but surely and over the course of several films, how many, okay, here's a question that's burning in my head. The only other film that I've seen is that one film, Sorry, that I sat through for how many versions? I don't remember how many there were.
I'm sorry.
Bless your heart.
We're all sorry for that.
So
we
goodness gracious. So
we don't consider that part of our repertoire. We have distanced ourselves from that particular group. We all
I
came to a
was the
mutual
editor
decision.
for that film, Vance. I was the editor, and there's
exactly.
so much.
But you did what he told you to do.
Hold on. There was so much behind the scenes that was just
okay. So what is okay? So you guys are not affiliated with Boone anymore? Do you guys?
No, none, zero, nothing. This is our own. This is our own one-lane highway here, basically.
Is that why there's an active "we hate Boone" in this, punch him in the face type vibe?
So, okay, so actually, I'm glad you brought that up because this goes into a little bit of the backstory of the film, because I know there needs to be some clarity on what the backstory was. For real, Sam.
I get it, but
okay, for real, all seriousness though. So after the Sorry,
I have no idea. So
here's in a nutshell. Here's the backstory. So after the Sorry video, of course, everybody was tearing into Boone about the Vulcan ambassador and blah 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 blah. So here's the thing. I was the Vulcan ambassador in third person that film because he was talking some trash over the phone. I'm like, you know what? You need to find somebody else because I can't do 6 different films at the same time for you. I don't have time for that. I can't edit that. So whatever, blah, 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 that happened. So after that, basically that's when ties got cut. And so there's a new captain on the USS Crytek. And the Sorry video was the first video that ship got introduced and I was the captain, etc. So basically, this video was a response to his viewers on what happened to Captain Roth on the Crytek. This video was to answer that. So if you followed the Sorry video saga, this falls in line with that to answer the questions of what happened to Captain Roth. So yeah, I'm in dirty jail cell. That was, I found some dirty old rickety shed I was laying on the floor, whatever. Portrayed the whole prison scene locked up. And the reason why it's final message is because is there going to be a sequel? How much traction is this going to get? Is it going to be garbage or what? So final message for now or to be continued. That's all part of the mystery of the film kind of thing being portrayed. So, a little bit of backstory for you.
Now I have. Go ahead.
No, V-Man, you got more to say?
No, I find the backstory more interesting than the film. I think we need a film about the backstory. I'd love to see. Yeah. I'd love to see that.
And the sequel, the plans for the sequel is to really expand on that to answer all the questions that this film left open. Because this is nothing but questions with this film, like you guys were saying on panel, ripping it apart. That was almost the goal. To blow open all these new questions and then to really solidify everything in the second and third films to build that storyline of like, that's why that happened in that film. That's why this, and to put all the pieces together. So
look, what you need to do, you need to do a little bit of a homage here. Yeah. I want somebody to grab a communicator and instead of like Kirk did in Wrath of Khan, and instead of going Khan, go boom like that.
Dude, Commodore Boone, I bet, if he's watching this in the comments, I'm sure he is shitting himself right now. So that's all I'm going to say. This was not meant to be an attack on Boone, but where I was just thinking, I was talking with Steve one night. I'm like, you know what? Nobody knows what happened to Captain Roth on the Crytek. And now there's this new captain on this ship. What happened to the old one? Here's the answer. That's going to get elaborated on in the future, hopefully. So that's the plan. That's the goal. So,
well guys, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just was hoping, Mage, you've been very patient.
Yeah, Mage.
You're
hanging out over there like a spider in a corner, man. What's up?
I'm just letting everybody else ask their questions.
Yeah, please, Mage.
I want to know about the model work. I was very impressed by it, as Sam was too.
I'll let Steve take this one.
Yeah, tell us about the model work.
Okay. I met a very lovely man named Mark Craig, who lives in the UK, and he's been doing model work since he was a teenager. He actually won an award when he was a teenager and met Jerry Anderson, who did Thunderbirds and Stingray and Space 1999, all that stuff. And he has continued to do that kind of model work over the years. It's one of his hobbies in photography. I discovered him on one of the Facebook groups that deals with models. And I happened to mention that we were making a film, and I loved what he had done. And I needed an abandoned base. And he says, I got you covered, Obviously, that's an Americanism, but you understand what I mean. And he came through. I have footage I can use for 4 or 5 films, buddies. In the dark, in space, on the planet, landing, taking off, flying around, you name it. But it's basically Space 1999, Thunderbirds, UFO style stuff. And I love that. And if you actually slow down the credits and look at them, it says that this is not only a loving film towards Gene Roddenberry, but also Jerry Anderson. Because I loved both of those when I was growing up. And Mr. Craig did an outstanding job. He and his sister as his assistant. He says we made it look better than he did, but I'm not so sure how true that is. But I am very thankful for the people who have jumped to our aid and made the film what it is. This is a team effort. We had fun doing it. Nobody argued. Jeff and I had a couple of issues that we were working out, partially because I'm Star Trek, he's not. And that's fine. It all worked out. We didn't hurt each other or, hang up the phone or any of that stuff. And Chris came in and he's like, here I am. What do you want me to do? But yes, the model work. Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. See there? He says, thanks. You're welcome, Mark. Thank you for all your help.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
The CGI now, I don't know if you noticed that. The CGI was very short, but that is by Kenneth Mays. And if you look on Kenneth Mays' YouTube channel, you see a lot of amazing stuff he's done. And Kenneth Thompson, who did Starship Saladin, pointed him in our direction. I've been talking with Kenneth Thompson for years. And I've even I'm going to show up in one of his films soon. So we've got a very good group of people who are trying to help us succeed. And I feel like all you guys in this room, believe it or not, no matter what your rating, you are also part of that group. And I really thank you very much for having us on here and hosting us this way. I feel very welcome. V-Man, it's been great to see you again. I'm sorry, kind of lost touch.
No, I know you're always around, Steve. I always see your comments on my posts, man. I always appreciate it, brother. And no, I'm glad you guys. I mean, despite the harsh rating, I'm glad you guys made the film. I mean, it's good to see people out there doing something. Even though I'm no longer involved in the community, it's good to see people out there at least attempting to do something. And I hope you guys put more out there and continue to do better. So.
I agree with V-Man. I'm sorry. I agree with V-Man because I'm new to all this. I didn't know this whole community existed. Being a Star Trek fan for years, but having done other productions, different types of films and similar, I think the most important thing is the fact that you did it says enough. That's the thing that I'm always proud of. You did it, even with music, whatever, somebody got up and did it, and somebody be proud of it at the end of the day. I mean, yeah, you can always improve, but the fact that you got up and did it puts you ahead of people that didn't. So
it takes a lot to put yourself out there in any sort of performance.
Yeah, exactly.
And it always deserves recognition of the putting yourself out there. And we try to be honest here, but we never want to be mean about it. And sometimes it comes across that way. But I promise you that's not what we're about here on our team. Not to be vicious, but to help.
Well, that's the thing. There's a million projects out there that people will lay in bed and they'll think about, and they'll never get it done, or they'll start to write and then they'll crumple it up, throw it in the trash, and never get it done, or they'll think, oh, I could do that, but they never do. You guys fucking did it, regardless of the complaints or regardless of other, And the thing about it is, there will be, I'm sure there's going to be some harsh complaints on YouTube. Ignore them. Fuck them. Yeah. If they support you, great, awesome. Live by those. The ones that don't, fuck them. You don't need them. And I mean that, because honestly, I've had my fair share of complaints and nitpicks, and there's a difference between criticism and cynicism. The critics will help you improve. The cynicism, there's nothing you can do to impress those people. So don't even try. And I mean that. Ignore those motherfuckers. And to you, Chris. Yeah, Chris. Mm-hmm. Yeah. To you, who's new to this community, live it, man. Because as someone who, I've been here 9.5 years, and I retired 6 months ago from it. I loved every minute of it, man. Eat that shit up, man, because it is the greatest group of people. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean it, man. There's nothing better. So,
I just want to very quickly add how much I really loved the model work. I would immediately, you mentioned Jerry Anderson, I was getting those vibes from it straight off the bat. It felt so much like, it felt like Thunderbirds and all of that, and I absolutely loved it. And also, what I also liked was like the music you used. I mean, it didn't necessarily feel Star Trekky, but at the same time, I did like the music for how it sounded. I could imagine that in some sort of cyberpunk, futuristic sort of film. Maybe with a bit more of a darker motif. But I did like those elements. It worked. Those sort of things worked for me.
It felt like your own. It felt like your own vibe. It didn't feel Star Trek-ish. It felt like your own thing. So I felt like that worked.
Yeah, that was a big concern. I remember talking to Steve about it, and I'm like, hey, between the music and just the style of how we're assembling this thing, it's like people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. There's not really going to be an in-between, because it doesn't scream Star Trek, at least as far as the soundtrack goes. And I wrote the soundtrack for this one here. And I was like, we're just go for a cinematic feel to it.
Yeah, but
keep it driving
and we put in at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, you had your traditional Star Trek thing, but it's darker sounding. It's in a minor key instead of B flat major like your traditional ones for Star Trek. But I was a little worried about that. I'm like, man, this is going to work or it's not going to work. People like it or they're going to hate it. So we're gonna see what happens. And that was the joy of coming. And that was the joy of coming on here, because I was telling Zam, it's like, we need a baseline on where this film even sits within anybody else, even though it's the very first film. That's kind of rough to judge anything off of first. Usually 5 to 10, like V-Man was saying, is usually a good amount to see if someone's going to fail or succeed in the long run. But, for the first film, I was wanting to get a baseline and see what was up. And I was honestly terrified, Zam, that you were going to give this a lower rating than the Sorry video. I was absolutely panicking over that, because I'm like, there is no way this is going to fall below that.
Dude, honestly, that was the worst fucking film.
Dude, I would have done away with my own self for you guys It would have been the final message for real.
Yeah.
The rating would
Sorry,
have
the
been
film that
lower.
only exists to apologize for its own existence.
Man, so I was like, we have to get at least a 4 out of Zam, some type of self-satisfaction here.
Look. I personally, I mean, you'd have to go. I don't know what you'd have to do to get worse than that, but nevertheless, I like Mark Craig here, fellow Brit,
Craig's
who very, very much appreciated your comments regarding his model work. I really think that is a direction for your fan films to give it for it to add its own flavor, for people to know that this is your products. That thing, I just love it so much. The model work, I found it so endearing. Instead of using special effects, I would definitely go down the model work route, because then people know it's you guys. Cheeto?
Oh, here's my heel turn, baby. I'm not saying it was bad, but I did not like the model work.
Fair enough.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that it looked awful. I'm just saying, like, in an age of CGI, I guess I'm gonna be I'm gonna be the what is it? The Gen Z,
Lone
I guess.
dissenter.
You're being the
Yeah.
Zoomer.
Yeah, but don't you think it means when you see the model work, it's them.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it was bad. It's not like I was sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is no." It's like, well, look at the lines and look at it shaking back and forth like it's like, no, that wasn't the case. It was when that came on the screen, I was kind of like, oh, we're doing this.
No, but I was thinking those doors open,
that?
and then you hear the Captain Scarlet.
No,
just
not my thing.
and stuff like that.
Not my thing.
Man.
Yeah.
It's as I said, it's okay. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying that that's not my thing. So, so I will do the full heel turn here. And
Is this Commodore Boone's alter ego here? Elmslung here from Landscape.
It doesn't have
it doesn't have RTX.
Elms
3090 rendered the film.
Right.
Well, so here's another thing too. So
but we did a mix and match. We do have some CGI, we have some model work, and that's, I think, the way we're going to go forward, depending on what the requirements are. I'm actually having a plastic model built of USS Crytek, because it doesn't exist. Nobody came up with
but other things like the spinning
model
head
before, so.
The spinning head, like, what the fuck was all that about? You know what I mean? With the little with the cyborg monocle. Like,
androids. I'll let Jeff talk about the androids.
I've been prepared for that question, because I told Steve they're going to ask about the spinning head. So basically, so we're thinking about android stuff, thinking Terminator and all that stuff. Metal exoskeleton under human flesh. I don't know how it works in Star Trek. I'll tell you right, I have no clue. So I'm going off. Okay, we're looking at the T2 days. So we got that spinning model graphic of that head there. So it's like, all right, so this here is going to be basically an android in production, getting built, programmed, assembled before it gets its human flesh cover or whatever else you want to call it. So that's just basically one still on the assembly line getting programmed. If you needed an explanation for it, that was the thought process behind it.
So this person here says, "What's the code?" I don't know what he's on about.
The code is muffin button
8375309.
Yeah, Ed 209.
Not sure what the question means.
I thought it was 8675309.
Muffin button.
Actually,
there's no such thing as a muffin button, Cheeto.
There is a muffin button. No, the code is 257.4 megahertz. That is what the code will be.
No, it's 10.21 gigawatts.
Yeah, exactly.
So the model work, I was a little skeptical about the model work until I seen it. It's like, okay, we can work with this in post, and we can color grade this and make it fit in and make it look good. Because CGI, unless you know people and you are friends with people, it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time. That's just all there is to it with CGI and 3D animation and stuff like that. It can get expensive and it can take a long time. So with the model work, I'm like, this is a brand new ship. And this is a ship that we're going to, give Dylan at the end, because he is the biggest mystery of this whole film. Nobody knows what he is, what he does. He's not affiliated with Starfleet or anything like that. What does he do? The only thing people know is he's on a mission to go save me or whatever, if possible. That's all going to get blown open in future films.
And you're on a planet with 200,000 fucking androids.
Yup.
Dude, there needs to
Yeah,
be
like-
like some serious like Punisher level of
Dude, I
android
know.
killing.
2,000 androids or 2,000 androids are having sex. I mean,
Well, I mean,
Well,
Bring
yeah.
your
I think you
on that
should.
point. I need clarification here.
I think
I
you.
downloaded
I think
the
you
wrong
down.
Star Trek movie.
Beat me to it, Mage.
Pirate Bay.
Nope. Can't out meme the meme lord, baby.
Well, spoiler alert, we're actually blocking the action for the rescue this weekend and next weekend. So, like you were suggesting, Vance, that you go out and you actually shoot somewhere. We're doing that with a team in Florida, but obviously that doesn't mean that all of us are going to be there with Chris. Chris has his own commando group, and they're going to be filming some stuff for us, and it's going to look just like it belongs on Mud's planet, underground, in tunnels, and a rescue of Captain Roth is going to happen.
You're gonna have a Captain Mudd or Harry Mudd, sorry. I mean, Commodore Boom would be the ideal person.
Well, while you mention
How
that,
hard it is to find a body
actually,
double like
anybody
that.
who's listening, please.
I
I
might do it,
saw
yeah.
a guy who played Harry Mudd on a fan film recently. If you're available, contact me. If nothing else, look me up on
Okay.
Instagram, PPMRAKY. I'm the only one. And you can private message me there. But I'm interviewing Harry Mudds. I'm interviewing androids, preferably twins, obviously, with green screens, because I don't know what the situation is going to be when we finally get to that. But
In between the age
if
range
you're in
of
Florida,
18
it's even
and
better.
25, and you want those twins to
I'd
be a
prefer
brunette and a
that.
redhead? Like, is that what we're saying
For
here?
For the
I'm not
twins,
going there.
As long as they're
No,
not
we're
made of
we're not
silicone.
gonna- Yeah, we're not dealing with silicone babes. We're dealing with real people looking people.
for the twin scenes, do you need twins, or can you just use one person and use them just shoot twice?
Sure, we could do that, but I mean,
So I
it's
was
a
gonna
lot
say,
easier with
wouldn't
you
yeah, I was gonna say that's a very simple process to do. Just light it properly, and you wouldn't need twins. Therefore, you could just find one person that looks decent, and then it's a very simple process.
Right.
Put them in different
for
shirts.
example, in an upcoming film, I was able to get a very nice couple who've been in fan films before. They have several different costume changes that they can do, and they're going to be the helmsman and navigator on a couple of our ships. You'll know because I just told you that they're the navigator and the helmsman on a bunch of ships. Okay, you're going to know that because I just told you. But at a glance, you may not notice. See, because that's exactly what we did. We filmed them, and the lady's here and the man's here in one costume. Then in another ship, the man's here and the woman's here, and she's in a different costume. And then the third ship, one of them's wearing a wig and the other one's wearing a wig. So you do what you can do. You work with what you have. And, there are a couple of little film tricks here and there that you can use, like you said.
Yeah.
And, you can
I
get
do
a
the same
couple
thing.
of people. And
Yeah, I do the same thing all the time with my alien masks and switching uniforms with what I do the same thing. Yeah. You work with what you got, especially when you're limited on people, supplies. No, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing too. It's
and
like,
they're
man,
enthusiastic, brother.
Yeah.
They really wanted to be in the film. And they've been in films before that are better than mine. But they like us and they wanted to help. And I appreciate it.
Well, let's take it back. Let's not say films that are better than yours. Let's just say films that have been around. Let's not say films that are
Okay.
better than yours. Let's not put your films down.
That's a good.
Okay,
Okay, thank
guys,
you.
I just would also like to offer my services as well, because if you need a villain, I'm your man. Yeah, and if you want somebody to play the voice of the computer, but it has to be in the Indian accent, I'm also your man.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Commodore
Those are
Boone,
the-
you're
those are the-
hired.
Those are the two things I'm willing to do. I'm willing to be the voice of the computer in the Indian accent only,
Yeah.
and a villain. And then when I say
He also
villain, I don't
needs
mean more than-
cucumber
Hold
water.
on, hold
And he
on, hold
also-
on.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Sparkling?
Be right back.
Yeah, sparkling cucumber water.
Hold on, you guys do realize that Commodore Boone is my character, right?
Oh, you better not tell him that. You better not dare tell him that, because
There's more
the
than one.
Crytek, the
There's
Crytek is his,
more than
Captain
one.
Roth is his, Commodore
Oh,
Boone is
God.
his, the Ajax is his, and nobody can touch it.
The
That has
Ajax,
been
Command
made
and Ultimate
very
Warrior.
clear to all of us that we can't touch
the
any of
Ajax,
that.
the Ajax is not his.
I
The
know.
Ajax. See, and this is what like.
Yeah, we can
this is-
discuss that privately.
I'll discuss it right now
Yeah.
with you, Vance, because I'll tell you what, there's a whole bunch of stupid BS behind the scenes about this is mine, this is mine. It's like, no, that's his original idea. That's his original art, or someone else's art that gave it to him that you got permission to use that you're now claiming is yours. Come on, man. You can't do that. Man, I think I talked with you once before, Vance, a while back about a track or something like that I wanted to work with or something, and you said you wrote it or whatever. And it's just being cool and mutual. It's like, okay, cool, man, no problem at all. Totally get it. We don't want nobody stealing somebody else's stuff, putting their name on.
Right.
That's trash. I don't believe in that. That is terrible.
Right.
But there's a whole lot of that going on across the pond.
That's
Just to
why I
let you
stepped
know.
away from. That's why I stepped away from fan films, man. I just don't like the drama, dude. That's
Yeah,
I like my mentality is like I work with a select group of people, and I write for them, so I write my characters into that stuff. But
Yeah.
outside that, it's like, please don't use my characters. Please don't do my stuff. Like, just please
Being
stop.
respectful.
But
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And if you're going to, please come to me and ask me. But like outside that, like, just don't, because I never do with other people, and if I do, I just go to the actor. And I have no problem saying yes, most of the time. But like, this is the reason why I walked away, is because most of the time people get to be dramatic, and it's like 99% of the people are 100% cool, but it's that 1% that's
Yeah.
just blah. I get
So
it.
here-
Possessive.
that-
It's that whole Mary Sue thing a little bit. I think people take ownership of what they're doing, and
Yeah.
even though you may have written that character, it'd be like, well, I did that on screen. That's my thing. I didn't want that to happen to her, or whatever.
Yeah. No,
like,
Yeah.
so-
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, you don't, hey, don't destroy what someone else has created. It's like, come on, man, really? Yeah.
Right. So, and that's another thing too, Vance, like what you were talking about, 10, 15 minutes ago. Create your own brand voice with your films. Make them unique. What's the signature to your films that people, are going to soon know to look for and recognize right away, like your style? What's your flavor of your own films? And by taking everybody else's ideas and characters, that's garbage. It's trash.
Yeah.
You can't do that and still have an original voice. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. That's why I thought of the name of my own original ship, my own original character, and this and that. And apparently it's all owned by somebody else. That garbage.
Yeah, it's
So
hard to be original sometimes.
I don't believe in doing that stuff. And sorry, Vance, if we stepped on the Commodore Boone character at all with this film, because I was like, we're stepping on, we're crushing some toes with this. It's not against your character of Boone. It's just
No, I know. I say that. I said that in jest. I don't like. I've kind of taken the Commodore Boone stuff, boxed it, and just kind of over here. I kind of ignore that, because it's like it's now it's I when that drama happened, and I know what you're speaking of, I've kind of ignored it now, because it's like I'm
a
done.
parody now, Vance.
Yeah.
That's how look at it. It's a parody now.
I mean, let's. I was gonna say,
Sorry, go
let's
on.
be real. Vance owns all of us at this point. I mean, let's just.
Yeah.
well, in the fan film community, Vance can be looked at as a mentor, so to say. He's got the experience, he's got the years, and God, he's got 150, 200 films under his belt, and he's got more down the line that has yet to be shown to the public. So the man has credentials. So we do owe significant degree of respect for basically pioneering the fan films to where they're at today, in a sense.
I 100%
I
agree.
appreciate it. No,
Yeah,
it's just. I think like if people could step over their own egos and just have fun, and that's ultimately like what I was telling Chris, it's like those people latch onto, and you'll have the grandest old time. And like I said, guys, like, I don't mean to shit on your film. I don't. Like, that's why I gave it a 5, because it's like, man, that's the border, that's the average. Like, I hope I want you guys to succeed, and I will watch every one that you guys put out. You know, like I was going to watch it earlier, but Zam said, "Hey, don't wait until we review this." You know, and again, if you guys reach out and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do this. Can you lend a hand?" Sure. Hey, what do you need? You know,
Thank you.
I'll always help out if I can. You know, I mean it. Whatever's in my library to help out, fuck, man, I'll help.
Yeah.
You know, because even though I've stepped away,
Thank you.
doesn't mean I'm not going to help. So.
Yeah, we're just all
Well,
having
just so
fun.
you
We're a bunch of
know,
friends,
our-
just trying to have fun and put a good, put a video together that's not total garbage, and have fun doing it. No arguments and no bickering and no this is mine and tug of war with a bunch of stupid stuff. I think we accomplished that. So
Well, and that's the key. You had fun. So I mean, and don't let anyone ever take that from you. That's the key thing.
Right.
So
I
that's
still want it to be
any rating I
quality.
could give.
Yeah,
I don't want to
especially
sit there and
since-
polish a turd and say that was a lot of fun and then put it out there. I don't want to do that either. We're trying to.
All right. Okay, fellas, we need to put a wrap to this now. So
Okay.
I just want to first of all commend you for working with us. So thank you very much for that.
We know it can be difficult.
It can be difficult. It's been a great show. Everyone else out there in the comment sections as well, thank you very much for joining us. If there's anything else in the future that you would like us to review, Star Trek or not, fan film though, it has to be, and it's obviously not too super fucking long either. Maybe less than 20 minutes I think would be fine if we're doing a live fan film reaction.
10 to 15.
Then let us know and we'll definitely put it on our list. We are nerds generally, whether it be Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, The Boys, Indiana Jones, fucking everything you can think of. We like to react to. So
not Doctor Who yet. Not Doctor Who.
We kind of did a Doctor Who. There was a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover one. Remember that one? It was really
That
shit.
was not a Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I was told that was not a Doctor Who crossover. That was just.
They had a sonic screwdriver. That
it was just a prop. I thought.
Yeah, fair enough. But still, nevertheless, let us know by passing anything you can find to us, because we love reviewing fan films. I mean, they come from a place of love, whether they turn out all right or not. There is a fan film out there that we will be reviewing soon called Galaxy Queen. That'll be coming out, and I recommend that you watch our fan film reaction of that. But anything else to add, fellas, before we sign off? I'll start with go on, Cheetah.
I was just gonna say, if you guys, if anyone watching this who has not already looked at their channel, in the description is a link to the fan film that we watched today. Please go over, give it a like, and then if you liked it, hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, hit the subscribe button. See what they do next. Maybe they'll do something different or do something better, or whatever they're doing, they're having fun, and that's what's most important. So definitely go and support them. We are a huge fan of fan films, and we want to promote them. I mean, as I said, whether we good, bad, and ugly, we want to promote them because fan art is good art.
V-Man.
No, I agree. Go support their channel. What they're doing is important. They're just starting out, and we should support that stuff. So go check out each one of them.
V-Man, just quickly to ask you, got some Avalon stuff coming out soon, haven't you?
Yeah, we he's got 3 films. Josh has 3 films. I'm not sure what all of them are called. I know I'm part of 2 of them. One of them is Crisis on Infinite Excalibur. And then the other one is I'm not even sure.
What is it? The Federation Files or
Federation Files is one of the
no. Stardates of Our Lives. Is that it?
No.
I swear to God, there's something he just posted on Facebook. I saw it.
I don't know. I'm connected to so much stuff. I don't really know. I just went and shot, so they put the script in front of me and was like, here, read this. I'm like, all right, I don't know. But it's just go subscribe to the Avalon channel if you want to go watch. They put out great content all the time. And then come over to the No Budget Productions / Field Fair Productions. I've been doing commentaries. It's called Constar Commentaries on my own films. I did weekend and then one this weekend. Yeah, come watch that. They're pretty interesting. It's kind of behind the scenes stuff. My own comments, basically a commentary on my films. I kind of watch the films, then I'll pause and then kind of continue talking about the thing, then unpause, continue going through the films. Then, kind of like similar to this, except just me blabbering. But it's kind of informative.
Yep.
And then I got some video game reviews on my channel that I've been doing, just playing classic NES games while I blabber. But it's kind of fun stuff. So click over that if you want. But no, go check out these guys. Watch their stuff because they're regardless of whether or not you like their films, they are good people, and I feel like that should be encouraged. So yeah.
Well, just for you, I've put the link of your YouTube channel, No Budget Productions, in the chat. So anybody who doesn't know who Vance is, what the fuck? He'd be living under a rock. So get out of that rock and fucking subscribe to his YouTube channel. Major Rage. I'm sorry for with so many of us. Some people have been kept to the side, and I do apologize. It's been yourself, mate. But have you got anything to add?
No, I appreciate being here. I appreciate Chris, Fecto, and Harry showing up and doing the interview with us. It was awesome to get to hear you guys' thoughts and kind of how you went about making the production. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us, V-Man. It's always a pleasure to see you, boss.
Thank you.
The boss is the word. Yeah.
For reals,
Thank
though.
you.
Stanley of Fan Films.
No, I'm glad to be
Stanley.
here.
For sure. Sorry, go on. Anything more to add?
Nope. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be on stream.
Chris, what would you like to say before we sign off?
Is that a budgie that keeps flying around?
I have no. They are called they're called the Kakarikis, and I have 4 of them, and one of them is still scared shitless of me. I can't win him over for lower money, but the other 3 they love me to bits.
Yep. Other than that, thank you for having me. I agree with V-Man and his closing statement. Yeah, we are good people. That's the one thing I like a lot. I love the enthusiasm. As I said, I hope it continues to show. And thanks again.
Fecto.
Yeah, so super happy to be up here, Zam. All you guys, thank you. V-Man, I got to go to church tomorrow to recover from your statements, or right after the film. But no, for real. Appreciate all your guys' input. We definitely have our baseline now, and there's a lot more stuff in the pipe. So can't wait.
Oh, look forward to it. Look forward to it. And finally, the Godfather himself, Mr. Steve Harris, sitting on your phone now. How would you like to sign off our stream today? What would you like to say?
I'll just say I agree with everybody that's on my team. We had a great time tonight. We appreciate your exposure for us, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. I'll take you up on some of those things there, V-Man. You've got my email. And meanwhile, just don't be surprised if Commodore Boone turns out to be not who or what you think he or she is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I'll tell Steve, just to add that thank you very much for those kind words regarding exposing you, but you've done a good job without us by getting almost 800 views for a channel with only 50 subscribers to get almost 800 views on your channel. And I'm not taking the piss by mentioning all of these things. It's very good. So more power to you. And I'm hoping if we can help you tip to the 1,000 mark, that'll be that will definitely be worthy of it. And I'm hoping that the fan film will get you more eyes on you as well in the future. Okay, so everyone out there in YouTube land, here we are at NerdTube. We don't just do fan films, we do film reviews as well. And other stuff as well. We like to shoot the shit in every various way possible. So please like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are without doubt the greatest YouTube channel you've never heard of. And thank you to all of you guys here. It's been a fantastic sausage fest. Take care, everyone.